YouTube? We are presenting our 2003 Dodge Neon SRT-4 that we spent $23,000 for, which is more expensive than what they were brand new. So we're going to show it off and all the stuff that's broken on it, or not working, or needs help in maintaining. Anyways, I think the first thing we should point out that's not really obvious, but is kind of not a big deal, but a big deal at the same time. Let me pop open the hood real quick. So at one point, we're assuming that the turbo got really hot at one point. And if you look right here, you can see the, whatever you want to call this piece, for your cowl. Yeah, the cowl is literally warped because of how hot it got from the turbo right there. So that was one thing that we're probably going to address at some point, but isn't really that obvious. Another thing, we've kind of tended to it. I'll show a picture and maybe a small video on screen at this point. But the SRT-4 logo right here was actually like 3/4 of the way gone, and we bought a special marker to fill in the red right there to put it all back together. And honestly, that was kind of the most physical things you could see on the car. But when we did test drive it, we did notice like a huge amount of like air sound from like the turbo. And you know, like the wastegate, that's what you always hear, you know, the sound. But it was like absurdly loud for some reason. And so we figured that there was a boost leak. Once we looked at the boost gauge, it just wasn't making the amount of boost it needed to make. And we found out after hooking up a smoke machine to it that down here at the intercooler where the tube is down here, you probably won't be able to see it. But anyways, there's a big gash down there, and we're going to have to address it on both sides. We've already ordered the piping for the intercooler to try and fix that issue of our air leaks. But that's kind of all mechanical, you know, that was wrong with the car. So let's go ahead and put this down. One thing that doesn't work on this car is the locks for some reason. When you hit the locks, well, key probably has to be on. Huh. You can hear the click. The locks are, you hear the clicking mechanism trying to go in, but none of the locks work for some reason. So we'll have to address that at some point. Another thing is that for some reason, we have one wheel key on, or one wheel lock on all the wheels, so we got to try and figure out how to get that thing off, which is kind of annoying. Another thing that's wrong with our car is if we go back here to the trunk area, you'll probably notice it when I open it. You hear that popping sound? For some reason, the passenger side tail light, the plastic is kind of like warped for some reason. And that's what keeps catching onto our trunk in the back for some reason. So if I go ahead and close it. What was another thing? Oh, right here on this side is like loosey-goosey for some reason. Don't know what that's about, because on this side is also loosey-goosey. I don't know, maybe that's how they are. I've kind of torn it apart into this car already. I've noticed that it's very easy to take apart this car, which is kind of odd. And I guess some things to see some 20-year-old signs is that right here on the hood, or on the, not the hood, but the spoiler, you can actually see some paint defects or just kind of flaking off. Holy crap, my hands are dirty from touching this car. But other than that, this car is like in really perfect, well, really good shape. The wheels are in good shape. They just need a new coat of clear coat on it. All the door handles work. There's no rips, there's no tears. It's a really good condition for being 23 years old now. And I think that'll about do it for our introduction on our Neon SRT-4. So we hope to see you in the next video.